Gorgeous, gorgeous girls love gorgeous, gorgeous F1 cars, so it's time to rate the 2022 liveries. The F1 teams really outdid themselves this year. There are a lot of really great liveries this year. Someone has to be at the bottom though, and for me it has to be the Haas. I've just always found it really disappointing that the American team on the grid went very Russian with their colors, and now with the whole situation in Ukraine, it's just a really bad look. I'm glad that they changed it to the white, and it's very simple, and without very many sponsors it looks quite bare. But I'm really hoping that they go with something kind of fun in a redesign and really fully rebrand themselves. But right now it's just a bit boring, and they just need to go in a different direction for sure. With all that being said, my heart goes out to everyone affected by the war in Ukraine, and I hope everyone is staying as safe as they can in times like this. In 9th place, I have the Alpine, and I actually don't mind the pink and blue together. I just think that the sponsors on this car really ruin it for me, especially the red Mapfre and the Castrol. I think just there's too many mixture of colors on this car, and when you view it from the front it looks quite nice because you can't see the red on the car, but I think if they had just stuck with the blue and the pink color scheme it would have looked a lot nicer. I think the Alpine was just a function of too many cooks in the kitchen. Now in 8th place, and this might be a bit of a controversial take, but I have the Mercedes. In the renders that were shown at the livery reveal, it looked quite nice, but the issue that I have with silver is that it tends to reflect the environment that it's in. So on a nice sunny day, it looks great, but when it's dull and cloudy like it kind of was in Barcelona, it just looks really dull and reflects kind of the dull gray sky, and there isn't much shine to it because if the sun's not shining, there isn't going to be a shine on the car, and so it just really didn't look nice. I hope that in the future they go back to the black livery because I really support the message that they were sending with that colored car, and I just think the car looked a lot more aggressive and just better overall. The one thing I kind of do like about the Mercedes though is the red under the wing. It kind of reminds me a bit of a Louboutin. Now in 7th place I have the Red Bull, and Red Bull is very consistent with their livery, and a large factor of it is just Red Bull is a brand, they are a energy drink company, and they have to maintain that consistency, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. However, my issue is that this car is a lot worse than previous versions. They have 2 new sponsors this year with the Oracle and Bybit, and it's just overwhelming the Red Bull logos on the car. But good on them, they got an extra $150 million in sponsorships, so I mean, if it's going to impact the livery, big whoop. In 6th place, I have the Alpha Tauri, and it's just a bit of a mediocre livery for me. I like the fact that it's primarily 2 colors, and it's very simple in its design, and contrary to most people, I actually don't mind the Flexbox logo because the orange in the X's on that logo matches the helmets of Yuki and Pierre, so I think that like subtle addition of color is kind of nice. There isn't really one thing that I really love about this livery, and there isn't really one thing that I hate either. In 5th place, I have the Williams, and I would say that this livery has grown on me the most since I first saw it. I absolutely love the back half of the car in the side view. The little diamonds in the different shades of blue on the back is really nice. However, the front half of the car is just really boring. Even the front view, I don't love the V. I just wish they would have used a little bit more of that electric blue. I think it would have looked a lot nicer with that color. The renders of this car really didn't do it justice though. It looks a lot better out on track in the sun. I think the lighting that they used in the shots in the studio just didn't make the car pop. And I actually really like the red details. I think they pop and they make the car look a little bit different. Although I think it would have been nice if maybe those details were in a gold or yellow instead. In fourth place, I have the McLaren. And you either love the McLaren or you hate the McLaren. I love this new McLaren. I love the new shade of papaya. It really stands out and it looks almost neon out on track. The top down view on the McLaren might be my favorite of all the cars on the grid. I just think with the halo and the orange around the cockpit, it looks like the driver is being engulfed in flames, and I think that looks sick. My one complaint with this car is the gray behind the Tezos logo on the sides. I think if it was the papaya orange, it would have made the color of the car kind of flow a bit better on that side view, because it does look a little bit blocky. I'd also maybe change the color of the numbers on the car, or at least outline it in the gray. So I just think that right now you can't really see the numbers, and that's an issue I have with a lot of the cars on this grid. Now the top three for me are really interchangeable, and depending on my mood, I might have any of these at the number one spot. All three of them are absolutely gorgeous, and any other year would have been number one for sure. For me though, in third place, I have the Alfa Romeo. The little details in this car are incredible. I absolutely love the rear wing with the Italian flag. That's just stunning. And I love how retro it looks. I actually really love the funky font on the engine cover, although I might slightly prefer the logo of last year. I think if they could have done that this year, that would have been awesome as well. The one small thing that bugs me about this livery, and is the reason that it's in third for me, is the Orlen logo. The fact that it's in a different shade of red than the rest of the car is just one of those tiny little things that really bothers me. In second place, I have the Ferrari. And when this car was released, I audibly gasped. It looks incredible. You just can't go wrong with red. It's just gorgeous in its simplicity. My one complaint with the car is the black gradient by the 75 logo on the engine cover. I wish they would have just gone full black across there, or even just made it red and made the logo a little bit bigger or something, because it feels a little bit out of place. The whole design of the Ferrari car is just really wicked too. I love those shots of the side pods, although thanks to Ted's notebook, I can't look at it anymore without thinking of Baby Bell cheese. And this means that my number one livery for 2022 is the Aston Martin. When it was first released, I wasn't all that impressed, but I just think that in the dark lighting of the studio, you couldn't really see the full impact of the livery. But once you got this car out on track, it is absolutely stunning. That green just really shines, and it's so much brighter than last year's green. I don't know what they did to change it. And the neon yellow that they used along with it, it just looks so much nicer than the pink. I just love that all the sponsors on the car are all in white, and it's not overcrowded with sponsors. There's no conflicting colors like there was on the Alpine, and I think that just makes the car look so much nicer. I don't think I would change anything on this car, honestly. So that was my ranking of the 2022 F1 liveries. Give this video a like if you like what I had to say, and subscribe if you're interested in following along and seeing some more content that I'm going to put out this year. See ya!